The French Academy in Rome is an academy located in the Villa Medici, within the Villa Borghese, on the Pincio in Rome, Italy. History. The academy was founded at the Palazzo Capranica in 1666 by Louis XIV under the direction of Jean-Baptiste Colbert, Charles Lebrun and Gian Lorenzo Bernini. The academy was from the 17th to 19th centuries the culmination of study for select French artists who, having won the prestigious Prix de Rome, were honored with a 3, 4 or 5-year scholarship in the Eternal City for the purpose of the study of art and architecture. Such scholars were and are known as pensionnaires de l'Académie. One recipient of the scholarship in the 17th century was Pierre Legros the Younger. The academy was housed in the Palazzo Capranica until 1737, and then in the Palazzo Mancini from 1737 to 1793. In 1803 Napoleon Bonaparte moved it to the Villa Medici, with the intention of perpetuating an institution once threatened by the French Revolution and thus of retaining for young French artists the opportunity to see and copy the masterpieces of the antiquity or the Renaissance and send back to Paris, their envoys to Rome, the results of the inspiration they had gained in Rome. These envoys were annual works, sent to Paris to be judged, were a compulsory requirement for all the pensionaries. At first, the villa and its gardens were in a sad state and had to be renovated to house the winners of the Prix de Rome. The competition was interrupted during the First World War, and Mussolini confiscated the villa in 1941, forcing the Academy of France in Rome to withdraw to Nice, then to Fontainebleau until 1945. The competition and Prix de Rome were eliminated in 1968 by André Malraux. The Académie des Beaux-Arts in Paris and the Institut de France then lost their guardianship of the Villa Medici to the Ministry of the Culture and the State. From that time on, the borders no longer belonged solely to the traditional disciplines but also to new or previously neglected artistic fields. The artists are no longer recruited by a competition but by application, and their stays vary from 6 to 18 months and even, more rarely, 1 or 2 years. The building and its dependencies were the object of a new rehabilitation and modernization campaign, in which the restoration of the facade over the gardens constitutes the most spectacular step. The works continued under the direction of the previous director, Richard Peduzzi, a painter and scenography, and the villa present exhibitions and shows created by its borders. List of directors. Many famous artists have been director of the Academy. 1666 to 1672. Charles Erard. 1673 to 1675. Noel Koepel. 1675 to 1684. Charles Erard. 1684 to 1699. Mathieu de la Culier. 1699 to 1704. René Antoine Hoarser. 1704 to 1725. Charles François Poisson. 1725 to 1737. Nicolas Fleurels. 1737 to 1738. Pierre de la Eustache. 1738 to 1751. Jean-François de Troyes. 1751 to 1775. Charles Joseph Natoire. 1775. Noel Halley. 1775 to 1781. Joseph Marie Vien. 1781 to 1787. Louis Jean-François Legrené. 1787 to 1792. François Guillaume Ménageau. 1792 to 1807. Joseph Benoit Sauvé. 1807. Pierre-Adrien Paris. 1807 to 1816. Guillaume Guillain Lethier. 1816 to 1823. Charles Thévenin. 1823 to 1828. Pierre Narcisse Guérin. 1829 to 1834. Horace Vernet. 1835 to 1840. Jean-Auguste Dominique Ingres. 1841 to 1846. Jean-Victor Schnetz. 1847 to 1852. Jean Alliot, 1853 to 1866. Jean-Victor Schnetz, 1866 to 1867. Joseph Nicholas Robert Fleury, 1867 to 1873. Ernest Hébert, 1873 to 1878. Jules Eugene Lenapu, 1879 to 1884. Louis Nicholas Cabot, 1885 to 1890. Ernest Hébert, 1891 to 1904. Jean-Baptiste Claude Eugene Guillaume, 1905 to 1910. Charles-Émile Auguste Durand, a.k.a. Carolus Duran, 1913 to 1921. Albert Besnard, 1921 to 1933. Denis Puch, 1933 to 1937. Paul Maximilien Landowski, 1937 to 1960. Jacques Ibit, 1961 to 1977. Comte Balthazar Klossowski de Rola, a.k.a. Balthus, 1979 to 1985. Jean Lemery, 1985 to 1994. Jean-Marie Droit, 1994 to 1997. Pierre-Jean Langremy, a.k.a. Pierre-Jean-Henri Acute-My, 1997 to 2002. Bruno Racine, 2002 to 2008. Richard Peduzzi, 2008-2009. Frédéric Mitterrand, 2009-present. Éric de Chassis,